Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Getting Past It, the podcast. We are here with episode 6, The Shift, Choosing Growth Over Comfort. I'm your boy JR. I thank you for joining me for another episode. A brief recap. Last week in episode 5, we talked about the mirror doesn't lie, owning your reflection, right? Being the person that you say you are, sitting with yourself and seeing where you need to make adjustments. Are you really the person that you say you are? And we spent some time thinking about that, and the challenge was for you to go have your mirror moment to really think about, are you being your best you, and are you being the person that you say you are? But now that you have done that, now what? What do you do with that information? How do you move forward after you've had your mirror moment? And that's why we call this episode The Shift, Choosing Growth Over Comfort. Growth requires discomfort, and if it feels too easy, you're probably not changing. From my experience, anytime that I'm getting better and I'm deepening myself and growing, it puts me in an uncomfortable space because it's unfamiliar territory for me. I'm outside of myself, so to speak, and I'm learning something new, something I don't have the most confidence in. I'm stepping out there, so it feels a bit different. So, I'm going to give you a personal example for me. Public speaking. Public speaking has never been something that I've jumped at doing, but it's always been something that I've been told I excelled at, if that makes sense. It's a very uncomfortable space for me to be in. And like I try to explain to people when they say, "Oh man, you did such an excellent job speaking," try to tell them, if you knew or if you could feel what was going on inside of me internally, you would see how uncomfortable it actually is for me. When I'm public speaking, sometimes, at work or in different settings, I feel like I want to jump out of my skin. I don't know why, but the anxiety just takes over. It's a weird feeling of being outside of yourself. And it initially will sit with me at the beginning of whatever it is I'm doing. And as the time goes on, I find myself getting more comfortable and that anxiety starting to dissipate. But even jumping on here weekly to talk to you guys, and granted, there is nobody in this room with me but myself, but there's still a level of anxiety and discomfort in it because it's something different for me. It's something I'm pushing myself to do. You don't know how it's going to be received. There's the fear of the unknown. There's just a lot of different things that go into that space that make it an uncomfortable place to be. And so it's easy to revert back to being in the comfort zone of not doing those things, or just staying in a space where you're comfortable with your norm, not pushing yourself, not stretching yourself, not challenging yourself to grow. And so comfort is a silent killer. It's a familiar place, but nothing grows there. It's the place where dreams go to die. When I find myself in those comfortable places or reverting to my comfort zone, I can readily identify that I'm not moving forward. It's almost like a safe haven, a place where I can go shield myself from something new, something different, something I've been running away from. And it gives me a sense of calm because I'm comfortable. It also gives me a false sense of peace. But in reality, in that space, I'm not growing or evolving as a person. I'm allowing the fear of the unknown to keep me stagnant, to keep me from growing, to keep me from stepping outside of the box, so to speak. A lot of times, we say think outside the box, step outside the box. And that's easier said than done because when you live inside the box, most of the times you have an expectation and you know the outcome of things, or you have a pretty good idea of how things are going to go. But when you're in that place of growth, a lot of times it's completely unfamiliar. Or it's one of those things that you've done before and people tell you you do well, but you shy away from it because it's not something that feels natural. You might know you're good at it, but it's not something you're comfortable doing. It's not something that you just want to jump out there and go do. It's not something you run to. It's something that you run from. But we have to shift that thought process and get comfortable with the uncomfortable. How do we stay in a steady place of growth? And that's making those uncomfortable decisions daily. It's not just a one-time thing where you choose discomfort and you say, I've made it. In order to continuously grow and evolve in uncomfortable spaces or things that you haven't done before, you've got to jump out there and do them repeatedly. For example, I talk about public speaking and the anxiety it gives me and how I'm uncomfortable with it. And I know for me, there's a way I can become more comfortable with it. One, me talking to you guys on a consistent basis is helping me get comfortable. But there's not 100, there's not 20, there's not even 5 different eyes on me right now. But there is a space where you can go and grow if public speaking is your challenge. And so for me, one of those places is Toastmasters. Most companies have a Toastmasters program where you go, you give presentations, you get feedback about what you can do better. They might count your ums or your body language or, just the different things that you're doing while you're speaking. And it's supposed to be a safe space to help you grow and evolve when it comes to public speaking. Give you some feedback and some tools that you can use. And for the longest time, I've signed up for it and have never done a speech. Why? Because it's an uncomfortable space. And if there's an exit door or a way to just be a fly on the wall, a lot of times when it's something you're not comfortable with, that's the role you take. So I took the first step at signing up for Toastmasters, but I didn't follow through because I never actually did anything with it. Like I went and I listened to other people's speeches and how they articulated themselves, but I never took the opportunity to do the same and receive that feedback so I could grow in this space. And so I have to own that. That's a part of owning my reflection because there was a growth moment there and an opportunity there that I failed to take. One, due to fear, due to it not being something that I was comfortable with. And so because of that, I didn't jump out there. And what I could have done years ago, a space I could have grown in, I've delayed. Now, what I can say is I'm getting more comfortable in that space and I'm challenging myself more to jump out there. And so whatever that thing is for you, whatever that place is where you need to grow, that thing that gives you discomfort, you got to jump out there and try it. You got to jump out there and do it. Like I said, it's not a one-time thing. You have to take these steps and make these choices daily, I'm going to be transparent. For some odd reason, this week I was struggling with figuring out what to talk about from an episode standpoint, or even just sitting down to do this. And I wouldn't say it was from a place of discomfort, so to speak. It just wasn't coming to me. And I thought about skipping the episode. And giving myself a mental break. Now, granted, you're probably like, why does he need a mental break when he only does this once a week? I have other things outside of here. But the struggle was real when it came to actually, sitting down today to get in front of you guys and put this content out there. But I pushed myself over the last few days to really think about the message I wanted to convey and to stay consistent, to get past my procrastination, my anxiety, whatever mental blocks I had, the things that were in my way, so that I could jump on here and give you guys this message. Fear is just another barrier for you to break. What I found is that the spaces where I have fear, I have anxiety, the more I do them, the better I get, the less fear that shows up when I find myself in those spaces. Sometimes there's still that uneasy feeling, but I'm more prepared for how to overcome those things. And so as I was getting ready to sit down and do this pod today, I read my Bible every morning, just as a way for me to try to ground myself. And like I said, I'm trying to get back into the Bible and reading and understanding deeper. But the message that was on my Bible cover, I thought was perfect for today's episode. And what it says is this: "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And so why that stuck out to me was the fact that he has plans to prosper each of us, not to harm us, to give us a future. And while he's doing the supernatural, we have to do our part in our space. And that is choosing growth, stepping into those uncomfortable places. Because we can't stay stagnant and expect for things to change. And we also can't expect for the higher power to do all the work. Right? You have to begin moving forward and taking those steps. And while you're doing what you're supposed to do, he's always going to do what he's going to do. And as I just read, his plans are to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. But to do that, you got to grow. You got to have an attitude of gratitude. You got to have faith in the face of adversity. You have to believe in you. You have to have your mirror moment where you reflect on your missteps, on the things that you're not doing, and think about how you can get better. You have to choose growth over comfort and be comfortable in that uncomfortable space. And another thing you have to do, surround yourself with people who are going to challenge you, who are going to push you to do better, who are going to push you to grow. Oftentimes we surround ourselves with people who tell us what we want to hear. Don't do it. Surround yourself with good, genuine people who want the best for you, but that are also going to push you when they see you getting stagnant, that are going to come alongside you when they see you fighting. Those are the people you want in your corner. My challenge for you is to reflect. Have another mirror moment. Ask yourself, where are you playing it safe and calling it peace? Think about that. Where are you playing it safe and calling it peace? Have a real conversation with yourself. Are you just avoiding something? Are you avoiding growth? Are you avoiding the discomfort and labeling that as peace? Only you can answer that for you. But think about it. The version of you that you see in the mirror deserves a chance to grow. You deserve a chance to be your best self. Are you going to bet on you? Are you going to take the steps to be the best you? Are you going to choose growth over comfort? Are you going to chase your dreams? I want you to move all the obstacles out of your way. I want you to get past it. I'm working on getting past it. I want us to get past it together. I hope you hear the sincerity in my tone as we're talking, or as I'm talking. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What thing are you going to work on? What space are you going to work on growing in? What are you going to do differently? Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that bell so you can get alerts and stay informed. I appreciate you all once again for taking the opportunity. This is Getting Past It, the podcast. I'm your host, JR. Have a great day. Continue to get past it. Choose growth over comfort. I believe in you. I hope you believe in you. Have a great day.